Right now, as you're listening to this, I have exactly 47 days left to live. And the twisted part? I'm the one who chose when I die. I'm the one who wrote the date in blood. My name is Dr. Adrian Cross, and 3 hours ago, I injected myself with the same poison I've been calling a miracle for the past 4 years. You want to know why? Because I just found out the truth. The real truth. Not the lie Evelyn told me, not the lie I told myself every time I held that golden syringe, but the truth that makes every horror movie you've ever watched look like a Disney cartoon. See, I thought I was saving lives. 43 lives to be exact. Cancer patients, dying children, heroes who deserved second chances. But here's what I didn't know. Every single person I saved, they were already dead. And every person I thought I'd killed, they're still alive. Yeah, wrap your head around that, because in about 15 minutes, I'm going to tell you what really happens when you inject Chronozym into a human body. And trust me, you're going to wish you never asked. But first, let me take you back to where this nightmare really started. And I promise you, it wasn't in Evelyn's lab. It was in my childhood bedroom. The night I watched my twin sister die in her sleep. Her name was Alice. We were identical in every way except one. She had a heart defect. Tetralogy of Fallot, if you want the medical term. What matters is that every night my parents didn't know if she'd wake up. December 23rd, 1997. I woke up to silence. No beeping. No breathing from the bunk above me. I climbed up and touched her face, cold, like touching marble. But here's the part that broke something inside me forever. I screamed for my parents, and in those 3 minutes before they reached our room, I felt something leave my body, like warmth draining out through my chest. And when the paramedics arrived, they said something impossible. This girl's been dead for at least 6 hours. Rigor mortis has already set in. My parents collapsed, young Adrian staring at his hands in confusion. But I'd heard her breathing at midnight. I'd heard her whisper, "Good night, Adrian," at 11:47 p.m. I had witnesses. My parents heard it too through the baby monitor. The doctors called it a miracle, said maybe she'd been in some kind of stasis. But I knew better. Even at 7 years old, I knew. Something had kept her alive longer than she should have been. Something had borrowed time from somewhere or someone. Little did I know, I was the battery, and Alice had been draining me for 7 years. Fast forward, medical school, 2015. I'm studying cellular biology, obsessed with one question. Can life be extended by stealing it from another source? My professors thought I was brilliant. Morbid, but brilliant. That's when I discovered the stories, scattered across medical journals, obituaries, folklore. Twins where one dies young and the other lives to 100. Mothers who miscarry and suddenly recover from terminal illness. Husbands who drop dead the day after their wife's cancer goes into remission. The universe keeps a ledger. That's what I learned. Life isn't created or destroyed, it's transferred. And nature does it randomly, cruelly, without asking permission. But what if we could control it? What if we could choose who lives and who pays the price? Enter Dr. Evelyn Thorne. Except that wasn't her real name. Her real name was Dr. Alice Thorne. Yeah, that Alice. Want to know how I didn't recognize her? Because she'd stolen someone else's face. Literally. Worn it for 30 years using Chronozym to keep the transplant from rejecting. The woman I'd been working for was piloting a corpse like a goddamn puppet. "Hello, Adrian," she said, and something in her voice made my DNA scream. "You don't remember me, do you? But I've been watching you your whole life, waiting for you to be ready." I should have run. Every instinct said run. But she showed me proof. Photos of us as children, my baby blanket which had been buried with her. And then she pulled off her glove. On her wrist, The same birthmark I had, shaped like a crescent moon, identical twin markers. I didn't die that night, Adrian. I should have. But you, beautiful, selfless you gave me your life force, 6 hours worth. Enough for the ambulance to arrive, enough for the emergency surgery. They declared me dead because I was dead. But you brought me back. My legs gave out. That's impossible. You were buried. I saw them close the casket. They buried a weighted box. Our parents knew. The doctors knew. They kept me in a medical coma for 3 years while I recovered, while they figured out what happened. And when I woke, I had one mission: understand what you did, control it, perfect it. She'd spent 30 years developing Chronozym, testing it on animals, then on terminal patients who consented to experimental treatment, building a network of researchers, billionaires, desperate families who'd pay anything for more time. And now, I need you, she whispered, because the enzyme only administered by someone with our specific genetic mutation, twins who shared a womb, shared blood, shared death. You're the only other person on Earth who can make this work. Little did I know, she was lying. There was one more twin, and he was hunting both of us. Patient 0, 8-year-old Maya Rodriguez. That part was true. Leukemia, stage 4, dying. Her parents sold everything. I injected her with Chronozym on February 3, 2020 at 11:23 p.m. 3,000 miles away, in a prison in Nevada, a man named Marcus Webb collapsed during dinner. Healthy, 32 years old, serving 15 years for armed robbery. Dead before he hit the floor. Alice handed me the report the next morning with my coffee. That's your donor. Scum of the earth. The world's better without him. I believed her. God help me, I wanted to believe her. But then, Maya's cancer came back, 6 months later, aggressive, and Alice said we needed a booster. Don't worry, we've already identified the next donor. This time, a woman in Oregon, Emily Chen, 34, bartender, found dead in her apartment. Cause of death? Spontaneous cerebral hemorrhage. I looked her up. She wasn't a criminal. She was a college dropout with a rescue dog and a food blog. Nobody important by Alice's standards, but she had friends, a life, dreams. You said criminals and volunteers. You said people who consented. She didn't even look up from her tablet. I said what you needed to hear. The algorithm selects randomly from the pool of statistically insignificant lives. Low social connectivity, no dependence, minimal economic impact. We're optimizing. That's murder. That's evolution. She finally looked at me, and her eyes were dead, completely empty. You think nature asks permission? You think God weighs the value of souls before a tsunami hits? We're just doing what the universe does, except we're giving the advantage to people who matter. Now inject the girl or watch her screaming. I injected her, and I hated myself, but I injected her. 43 patients later, I started noticing something wrong, something Alice's perfect algorithm didn't account for. The patients weren't just getting younger. They were changing, personalities shifting. Maya, sweet, gentle Maya, started having violent outbursts, screaming in languages she'd never learned, having memories of places she'd never been. The firefighter I saved started having panic attacks around children, said he felt like he'd hurt one before, but he hadn't. Marcus Webb had, the prisoner whose life force we'd stolen. Alice, the patients are exhibiting transferred memories, transferred consciousness. What the hell did you actually create? She went pale. First time I'd ever seen her rattled. That's not possible. Chronozym only transfers cellular energy, not... Then explain why Maya drew a picture of a prison she's never seen. Explain why she knew details about Marcus Webb's crime that were never made public. That's when Alice's lab assistant, a man I'd never met, walked into the room. Tall, our birthmark on his wrist, same eyes as Alice, same eyes as me. Because Chronozym doesn't transfer life force, it transfers souls. Bit by bit, treatment by treatment. Your patients aren't being healed, brother. They're being possessed. Alice stumbled backward. No, Nathan, you're supposed to be dead. Yeah, you killed me in the womb, remember? Or tried to. Vanishing twin syndrome, they called it. But I survived, absorbed into Adrian's meat suit. We've been sharing his meat suit for 33 years. Nice to finally talk to you directly, brother. My legs went numb. What are you saying? Nathan pulled out files, thick, detailed. We were triplets, 3 embryos. Alice absorbed me in month 2. You absorbed what was